So,
Today's
why is Bill not on this file anymore? Why has this taken almost 7 months now? That's my first question. I don't even care why you're calling, but I'm really concerned with the RCMP. I'm really concerned with the CCRC. I'm really concerned with the entire justice system. What's going on? Why is this taking so long? Why did somebody tell me they were going to delete evidence? Why is the government even deleting evidence in the first place? This is native land. You people are guests.
First of all, I'm calling to introduce myself to let you know that I will be looking into the public complaint. I've provided you that email, and I just want to confirm that it's okay that I do communicate with you through email as well as by the phone.
Both ways are fine. Yes, I would like everything documented very well. I would like answers to my
Okay,
questions though, because I have been waiting for a very long
I
time.
understand,
I'm very
but I
impatient.
do
My
have,
animosity is extra. It's. I'm autistic. I'm extremely traumatized, and I'm behaving better than most would in my situation, considering everything I have been traumatized by. I literally tried to flee this country. So, do you understand the severity of everything? Do you understand? What have you even looked at?
I understand that this is very difficult for you. I do have to do a few things so that we can speak today. Today's an introductory call. I do have limited information and or limited time, pardon me, and I have to make sure today that we do cover a few things.
Sure. What is it?
First of all, I do need to confirm that you are Aaron McNeil by asking you to please confirm your date of birth.
Aaron O'Neill, Aaron Michael O'Neill. You should have that name, right? What name do you have?
Yes,
Okay,
Aaron O'Neill,
right. 5585.
5585. Thank you. May I ask what your pronouns are?
Either or,
So
really, but
that,
you can address me as male. Thank you for asking.
okay, I just want to make sure that I address you appropriately.
Thank you.
And I apologize if there's a little bit of a gap. It's because I'm just writing notes to make sure I don't forget anything that we talk about today.
That's good. Thank you.
So, so that you know, and I did hear some of your questions, I will try to answer a couple of them right now. I won't be able to answer them all today, but we will talk again if you're open to that.
Yes,
So
please.
this won't be the only time.
Thank you.
You have my information. You can email me if you need anything.
Mm-hmm.
Just so you know, I really will be sticking to the public complaint against Constable Lafont. I won't be looking at other criminal allegations or anything of that kind. That's because my job is really related to that public complaint.
Which is in relationship to accepting crimes against global companies that initiate in Canada. It's national, which is the RCMP's jurisdiction. Also, my complaints against the Transport Canada and Prime Minister, which are your responsibility. That is the evidence that was deleted by Constable Lafont. The evidence that he deleted is in relationship to you guys doing your job. So, what exactly do I get out of that? Do you even know what my complaint is about? It's literally about submitting information regarding criminal activity within the federal institutions, which is your responsibility. And I've already gone up every single ladder. Now, you guys do not show any kind of independence towards this government. You swear an oath to protect us.
I am listening to you. Okay, so I understand
There were questions
everything
there.
you're
Thank
saying,
you.
but you need to understand that my job right now, me personally, Corporal Tremblay, I'm investigating the public complaint against Constable Stéphane Lafont that you had created.
What is that complaint? Can you please explicitly explain that for me, please, so that I understand what your understanding is?
Of course, that's not a problem. Let me just open up here the complaint that you put in with, I say CRCC, but the Civilian Complaints Commission, pardon me,
Yes.
so that I can just have the exact wording. That way there's no misunderstandings.
There were actually several complaints
Against
against the
Constable
RCMP.
Lafont.
Against the entire RCMP.
So I understand that, but today, myself, I'm assigned to
Brenda
look at
Lucky
the
as
complaint
well.
against Constable Leffel.
The Brenda Lucky was named in that as well. Do you realize how many people were named in that?
I
The
understand
audacity to
there's
say
many
that racism
complaints
does
that
not
you have
exist.
ongoing. This is the only one that I will be dealing with today.
Okay, so I have a copy of that as well, and I know what names I put on that complaint. So
Okay, but I'll be dealing with the one specifically against Constable Leffel.
So even though that same complaint number has multiple names on it, you guys divide everyone up? Is that what I understand?
So I'm not privy to how the Civilian Review and Complaints Commission completes their intake process and how they delineate all of those tasks.
I understand. Okay.
I'm at the end that's essentially detailing, you've been assigned to this complaint. And so I would like to work with you to move forward.
Okay, so let me just get your understanding of what the complaint is, so that I understand how to deliver the evidence and information that you need for this particular situation that's been delineated towards you.
Of course, and again, today's just an introduction, so we can set up, some more communication at a later time. Unfortunately, I am limited today, but what the goal of today is to better understand, is to touch base with your complaint to make sure we're on the same page as to what that's about, and to talk about what you wish to achieve through the complaint process of this complaint specifically.
Independence from the government, and to take my goddamn evidence that there's criminal activity? How many court cases are going against Justin Trudeau? Do you know what he did to me specifically since 2018? This guy has been obstructing justice, allowing others to obstruct justice. I've ended up homeless, living in my car multiple times. You want to know what the trauma is? You know what the motives are? Fucking money. It's criminal. Not letting me out of this country. You know what? I've been held hostage. I feel held against my will. I feel raped by this fucking country. You want to talk about it? I'm really traumatized. Really. I've been begging to be fucking euthanized. I'm so upset. And you know how long this has taken? You want to know what I want?
This complaint was related to January 2022, but I understand that your greater complaint has occurred before then. So to go back to this complaint,
after I was thrown in the psych ward for telling Justin Trudeau that his decisions made me want to die, I filed a criminal complaint against him. Okay? Also, I've gathered more evidence to show that there's even more criminal mischief. False pretenses, a whole bunch of shit. False pretenses for this vaccine and telling me that they've studied this on people with autism. They haven't. Smokers, did you ever see the exclusion list telling me it's safe to take this? That's a false pretense. They didn't test it on smokers, autistic people who have survived it. None of that. Telling me it's safe? Then to hold me against my will for 4 months, now I have no money. Do you know how I've been held against my will? I have been held against my will, and I filed a complaint with Constable Lafon because I've been held against my will, and it is July, and I tried to get out of this country in November, and I still can't get the fuck out of here. And now I have no money left. Now I'm begging to be euthanized. And you want to tell me that you are limited as the RCMP?
I'm going to tell you right now, Mr. O'Neill, that if you continue to elevate your voice.
You want to use my emotional shock against me? Do you want to use my psychological damage against me? Do you want to use my autistic meltdown against me? Because I can't control this. And I suggest you learn to motivate yourself to be around it and not take it personally.
I'm not taking it personally.
Because I'm recording this. And you're not going to tell me how to act with emotional shock and psychological damage and autistic meltdown. You best get a doctor involved before you start telling me what to do.
I'm asking you, sir, to please listen to me so that we can move forward, because it is important to me that we work together on this and that we do discuss this matter. And because we have limited time, I want to make the most of that time.
You really should have scheduled more time, because I can't help the triggers that happen in my life because of your questions and your ignorance. You trigger me. You should have been more educated on this. You shouldn't be looking for the information. You should have scheduled more time. You should have looked at this. You should have done your due diligence. $7 months and this is what you get? You can't even give me an answer? You have to look it up?
We've just met.
No. There have been 2 people assigned to this. You've used everything to obstruct justice. Your department, RCMP, has been obstructing justice. Even throwing my case around. Why is my case with a new person? Why didn't Bill call me back? Why is this taking so long?
All I can tell you is that I've recently been assigned, and I am trying to reach out to you now, as I am doing right now, so that we can talk about your complaint. And I'd like to see what you wish to achieve through the complaint process.
Well, I hope you're taking notes.
Are you looking to have a disciplinary action? Are you open to informal resolution with Constable Lafont to better understand what the procedure is and what might have happened? Are you looking for a change in procedure on how the National Division Intake Unit does business?
Everything. I want the whole thing changed because every single experience that I've had so far has been incompetent to handle my needs, and it's risking people's lives. So from the funding towards actual reviewing you people needs to go way up. They're all underfunded. Okay? The review process, how you handle complaints, how you literally take evidence, how you allow people to report federal crimes by federal politicians. They're not immune. Last time I checked, ma'am, this is active invasion. The Commonwealth has this country under active invasion. Last time I checked, my brothers and sisters are living on active concentration camps. And I don't think you really realize that, do you? Can you literally tell me on this phone call right now that you accept the fact that this country is under active invasion, active colonization, active concentration camps, and there's active genocide against our people? Do you know what? Those are crimes. Now, you want to admit that? Can you accept that?
I'm going to try to steer the direction back to the complaint against Constable Lafont.
Well, I'm asking for your personal opinion.
Sir, right now, I have to deal with this complaint, the public complaint.
Person to person? You can't speak to me? And I'm supposed to trust you?
I'm
supposed to trust you when you won't answer my questions? I don't still have a single question answered. And you want me to answer all these things and you're not even prepared. And you don't even have time scheduled.
This is an introductory call.
You know what? You should have prepared me for it. You should have been prepared, and you should have prepared me for it. You called me from a no-caller ID unexpectedly.
Would you like to touch base at a later time?
For what? I just asked a bunch of questions. You want to put me through this again?
I am trying to confirm what you wish to achieve through the complaint process.
I just told you 5 things. Did you write it down?
And I understand that you've explained to me that, quote, you want the whole thing changed, or I want the whole thing changed, if it's a quote. But I need to better understand what that means related to Constable Lafont's behavior. What are you hoping to achieve with Constable Lafont?
I'm sorry, did you not see the email? Did you see the email that he sent me? Do you know why I'm complaining?
I understand that
he told me to stop sending him evidence and that any further evidence would be destroyed. Right.
Further evidence.
And
further documents.
And he said to stop sending anything. Meanwhile, he understood through emails prior that this was going to take a long time for me to provide everything, and it was going to come in a series of complaints. And I made that very clear to that intake office.
Is something that you would like to achieve is a better understanding of how the intake office works, because every function of the RCMP has a specific objective. Would that be helpful?
I've been very clear on what I said, right? So the review process is underfunded. So it shouldn't take 7 months to get to you. First of all, they even told me they're underfunded, and I have that on recording, like through writing, that their capacity is very limited, and they're getting through accounts as fast as they can. And the police officer, the RCMP officer, knew this, and you guys used that to your advantage. And you literally told me that his email was like, if you don't like it, go to the CCRC. Literally. And he knew it would take this long, and he knew I would be built, and he knew how vulnerable I was, and he still didn't take his consideration of protecting me from the criminal activity, such as holding me hostage. Now, second of all, this entire process has been extremely uncomfortable. You can tell. You aren't even doing your due diligence. Look at the way you've triggered me throughout this entire phone call because of your incompetency. You guys aren't even trained. What's your university level degree? Can I ask you that? What is your highest level of education, ma'am?
It's not relevant.
It is relevant. It is relevant. It is relevant because none of you have ever shown me any kind of professionalism whatsoever. Do you even have any psychological? I've asked repeatedly to be given someone who has mental health training. What mental health training do you have? Do you have any bachelor's in psychology or anything like that?
Sir, as I've said, today is not going to be about me divulging personal information about myself. I'm hoping to establish...
You should be able to put that on a LinkedIn and be proud of it. So if you can't be proud of that information and you want to tell me that you think I'm going to be able to trust you when you can't even have a conversation with me and tell me what kind of level of professionalism you have?
I understand that you're very upset today, and I am going to tell you that I'm going to end this call for now because I feel like we're not moving forward.
Well, who's your manager? Because I would like to speak to them and see if they would like to give me any of your professionalism. And you won't even tell me that you're trained in autism or mental health?
As of right now, I am a trained investigator with the RCMP. I'm an RCMP member, and I've been assigned to review this public complaint.
Do you have any mental health training? Because I would like an officer that does. So that they do their due diligence before they contact me.
A very open, wide topic. It can range multiple things. There's no straightforward answer to that. You have to acknowledge that.
Every single one of you public servants should be trained on 100% of the population. Every single one of you should be trained on 100% of us. 100% of the public servants should be trained on 100% of the population. There shouldn't even be a hole in your training within mental health, considering we represent this population. Now, you are all undertrained, so there's a lot that I would like changed. I would like people with actual university degrees, like they do in Europe. Have you ever seen the task force in Europe?
I think
it's a 4-year program.
In Europe, so unfortunately, I'm sorry, I don't know which one you're
right. Well, it's a 4-year program. You guys are like 4 months.
This is difficult for you.
It is extremely difficult.
That you are triggered right now. I think for your wellness right now, you're saying you're triggered. You're saying you're upset.
I still want the answers to my questions. It's been 20 minutes of trauma, and you're gonna sit there and tell me that you want to back out now. You want to back out of the conversation after spending 20 minutes, because the trauma isn't gonna go away when you end this call. Do you realize that? You've already started. I've asked the questions. I don't want to have to ask them again.
I am concerned, and I do need to know: are you okay right now, sir?
Yeah,
Are you okay where you are, or do you need some assistance?
No, I don't. Are you threatening me with more police? I'm suing you guys for intimidating me. Do I not? I'm upset with you. And you want to threaten me with the police, with people with guns?
I just need to make sure that you're okay, sir.
Answer my questions, and maybe I will be okay. Be prepared for this call, and maybe I will be okay. Treat me with the decency I deserve, and maybe I will be okay. Questions? Did you write them all down? Could you even keep up? Would you like a recording of this? Is that maybe what you need? Would you like this? How about I post this to YouTube so you can take a look at it and you have a better understanding of exactly what I need?
Call right now, sir. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but right now we're not productively talking about the subject of this call, which is the public complaint against Constable Lafont.
I've asked some very important questions.
You don't need any assistance right now. I understand also that you are very upset about this, and I'm sorry that you're very upset.
Every single time you call, I'm going to be triggered. So you better get used to it, dear. This might be your first day dealing with someone with
Please do
autism.
not address me, dear.
Well, honey, what do you want me to call you? Because I'm really upset with you. Okay, this is okay. Well, I don't respect you because of how you've treated me and how you respect me.
Another time, unfortunately.
7 months. I waited for this call.
Moving forward, we're out of time today.
Oh, are we? How much time did you schedule me?
Sir, it's not a matter of specific schedule time, but right now I have multiple things.
Who's your manager?
And we need to move forward in a productive manner.
Email me your manager information.
Right now,
I would like. Who's above you?
We're going to have to
who is above you?
Perhaps doing this in a
Who
different manner.
Who do you report to, please?
I hope you understand that.
Who do you report to? Are you going to avoid that question on a recorded call?
No, not at all.
Okay, so who do you report to? Because I'd like to speak to them.
Sure. Sergeant Major Elaine Maisonneuve.
Can you spell that?
Of course. The first name, Elaine, E-L-A-I-N-E.
Mm-hmm.
The second name when you're ready, her family name?
Yes.
Maisonneuve, M-A-I-S-O-N-N-E-U-V-E.
And so I can contact her, elaine.maisonneuve at rcmp.gc.ca.
Correct, and her pronouns are she or her.
Okay. Well, I'm very triggered, so you were not trained. I'm gonna be contacting her, showing her the video, show her how you triggered me, and explain in writing exactly what I want out of this, because you clearly do not know how to take notes, nor do you know how to keep up, nor do you know how to be with someone who's actively traumatized with autism, with psychological damage, and I am extremely distraught after this phone call. You have not helped me. You have made my day worse. I do not feel safe, and you do not make me feel like I am protected in this country.
May I ask you, sir, are you still in London?
You have my address.
Yes, it's because I had the wrong phone number at first, and
right.
When you confirmed it, I had a different one on file.
647. That was disconnected because I couldn't afford it anymore.
Okay, I understand. I just want to check that you're still at 250 Hyman Street, apartment 1?
Absolutely. Why?
Okay. Thank you for confirming it, because I want to make sure that our information is up to date.
Okay. Yeah, and I'm fine. I'm literally in the middle of writing a court case for my WSIB, claiming that for my workplace, and trying to get my evidence together on this itemized list with a summary, which is very also traumatizing. And this whole situation has been going on for 4 years. So I've been in an emotional state of shock for 4 years, functioning through all of this on my own, and I finally have gotten legal advice, and I'm going to be requesting the privacy information as well as my access information from everything, even as to why I couldn't even get out of this country on November 29th, which should never have happened.
So I can't speak as to that because
I don't care. Okay,
my department. But
that is
hearing what you're saying, and I'm
you need to note this information on the file, though. You still need to take notes and notify it. I'm recording this. When I pull this information and it's not well documented by yourself, I'm coming to sue you for misconduct. So there better be good notes on all my files. Do you understand? I hope you really knew how to fucking take notes.
Swearing at me or threatening me is not going to...
I'm allowed to threaten you with due process. A lawsuit is due process. There's nothing that I am doing outside of my legal limit. There's nothing. Do you understand that you can't tell me I can't threaten you with a lawsuit for misconduct when you are actually making me feel like you have been totally not doing your due diligence from the very beginning?
Sir, I'm going to let you go now because we're going in circles. This is not productive. And you are going to get more information about your public complaint in due time. You have my email, but I ask that you restrict anything related to public complaints. The file that I am documenting is specifically related to the public complaint against Constable Lethal. No other information is going to be related to that file. That is not my job here, and it is not going to go into this file. Those need to go to the appropriate persons, and those persons are not me or those
So
appropriate departments.
you're basically just telling me you're destroying the narrative, which is evidence, and picking and choosing what happens.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
You pick and choose, you're selective, you decide what's important and what isn't. Yeah, it's very discriminatory. It's very abusive, too. It's basically taking my voice away, which has already happened enough, thank you very much.
I'm very sorry, but I'm going to have to let you go now because
Sure.
you're going in circles.
I mean, yeah, no, I totally have already said that before, right? I've already said that before, right? It's just the same thing to you over and over again because all you know how to do is obstruct justice and take people's voice away and make people feel like they're threatened. That's your job, right?
Please take care of yourself, and if you are feeling distressed, I want to ensure, do you have phone numbers?
I know who to call, thank you very much, and I'm fine, and I'm waiting to be...
resources that you can call?
Yeah, no, I've got it.
Free resources.
I've got it. I've got it all, sweetie. Thank you very much. I've got all the information, and they don't help me at all, okay? I'm begging to be euthanized, and I'm waiting for that to go through. So let's see what fucking gets done first. You guys, or my euthanization from the government?
I will provide you an update as soon as I can on this file, on this public complaint.
Yeah, I can't wait to see your due diligence.